Welcome to the basement.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Basement Boys Podcast. I am Chris Gray. That is Eric Minzer, and right around here-ish, we got Devin Mitchell.
What to do?
And we're gonna jump into with it. Starting off with some sad news today.
Yeah, apparently former Tampa Bay Buccaneer, former San Diego Charger, Vincent Jackson was found dead in his hotel room. 38 years old. It's a very sad story. Apparently he was living at the hotel room for over a month. I don't know too many details about it. Just sad news.
Details are still coming in. I read that his family was reported him missing, I think on Wednesday, and then Thursday they actually filed an actual report because it had been 24 hours since he was missing, and then unfortunately they just found him deceased in his hotel room.
Yeah, this is a unfortunate thing that with NFL players we see a lot of untimely deaths, a lot of gone too soon.
And it just brings back the point of whether the NFL should be kind of more liable for these guys after their careers, especially a guy who had such a long career in the NFL as he did. I mean, long for a wide receiver.
He's 38 years old. He's a very young man, so it's just a tragedy.
So our condolences go out to him, his family, Bucks organization, Chargers organization.
Yeah, they both came out and put out nice statements, and I'm sure as more details come out, we'll have more to say on it. I don't know. It's really sad thing to happen. I just don't know what to say.
Yeah, and so we just wanted to offer our condolences, and like I said, there's not many details out right now, so we don't really have much to talk about. How what maybe deeper issues might have had, whether it a sickness or whatever it was, but just it's cliche to say, but thoughts and prayers go out to the family and all that. Yeah, it's just a sad story. But so we'll move into a little bit more football news, a little lighter talk. Literally right as we were exporting the podcast, like happens every week.
Can't get lucky.
We really can't. The big news broke that JJ Watt has now been released from the Texans. How do we feel about this?
Houston, you have a problem.
It's
Think about it. In the last year, I mean, they lost Harden. Westbrook came and went. Garrett Cole signed with the Yankees. George Springer signed with the Blue Jays. JJ Watt's gone. Soon, Deshaun Watson's pretty much forcing his way out. Houston got hit with a quarter of an inch of snow this morning.
Can't catch a break.
Yeah, it's rough times out there for Houston. But I think JJ Watt put in an incredible career for them. The all-time leader in sacks, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. Hey JJ, everybody knows who he is. He's their franchise player. You think the Texans? You think JJ Watt?
And you have for years at this point, since I was in high school.
I mean, he is the Houston Texans. There would be no Houston Texans without JJ.
Yeah, and he asked kindly to be let go, and they let him go. Deshaun Watson is asking kindly to go to another team, and he's still battling.
Yeah, I wonder what their plan is for Deshaun. Because Deshaun's supposed to be the future. He's going to be the face of was supposed to be the face of the franchise. And now he's asking him to be released. And you're holding him hostage. But JJ, who is literally Houston, Texas, the man helped rebuild that city after Hurricane Harvey, I believe, with his own money. And he asked to be released. And you're like, okay, yeah, we'll honor that. What's their end game?
Well, Jesus came down to their general manager,
Jack Esterby,
and said, Deshaun Watson will stay here. He will love the Houston Texans. But JJ, fuck off, basically. I don't know if that's an exact quote from Jesus, himself, but
I heard Jesus actually said it the other way, where JJ said like, "Hey Jesus, I want to leave Houston," and Jesus was like, "You shall leave Houston." And then Deshaun was like, "Hey Jesus, me too," and Jesus said, "Fuck you." So Deshaun's
True.
staying in Houston.
It's cold-blooded because, Deshaun got his first check. He gave it to lunch ladies of the Texas organizations.
and Jesus was still like, nah.
Yeah. So for those who don't know what we're talking about, Jack Esterby is actually, I think he's the president of football operations, like, which is separate than the GM. Not really
Right.
sure how.
Yeah, something like that.
He's got a high position with the Texans organization, and he is a super religious man, which is fine
Well,
and dandy.
Yeah, but
He's basing his decisions religiously for the Texans. To answer your question, Devin, I think the end game is that, like, they keep saying they're not trading Deshaun Watson. This is something we're going to be talking about for the next 6 months until training camp, of either he's going to be on the Texans roster and just not playing for them, or he's going to force his way out, because he said he's not playing for them. They're saying they're not trading him. We got a good old-fashioned Mexican standoff in Texas.
Yo, do you see what his his PR manager posted earlier today or yesterday?
Oh, I did not.
A photo of him in Miami with some Miami Dolphins that he was teammates with.
Fuck that, dude. Fuck that.
But listen, we all know you're a PR manager. Your job is to spin the PR into your client's favor. So, he's just trying to help Deshaun.
I think that's one thing that's hurting Deshaun, though, is, like, first it was he really wants to be a Jet, which, like, got
Let's
us all
go.
excited, like, got our blood running, but, like, then it was just a smokescreen. I think this whole thing, like you're saying right now, does he really want to go to Miami? Is this a smokescreen? I heard he's talking about the 49ers, which would be cool, but the 49ers came out and said, like, we owe Jimmy G a lot of money. We're just going to give him another try. And then he's talking about going to Denver. I think that would be sick.
I agree. But at the same time, like, everyone, we're all talking about this, that, and the third. Like, oh, he's going to go here, he's going to go there, blah, 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 blah. But, and everyone, all, like, the major pundits keep saying, like, hey, he's not, like, there's no way they can get to the season with him. It's too broken, blah, 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 blah. I think the complete fucking opposite. Because, A, if they suck this year, that just means they go into another high-round draft pick coming up next year, which they're not going to be good this year, even if Deshaun plays, and we know this. And plus, again, Jesus Christ came down to Jack Easterby being like, yeah, he might not play today, but that means we get back $21 million. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Like,
All right.
Now it's all about how they spend that 21 mil, though.
but that's what I'm saying. Like,
But they're not going to spend
it's not,
it.
but they're not in a bad strait if they just let him sit out.
Yeah, they are. They're going to be a terrible team. They don't have a
They're
going
going
to
to be terrible anyway. They just get a higher draft pick now.
But they don't have a first-round pick this year.
But next year.
But trade him this year, and you can get in on the draft this year. If they trade, like, Dev's talking about the Dolphins, they trade him to the Dolphins, they get back their first-round pick, so they get the third overall pick. If he comes to the Jets, then you get the second overall pick. Like, that's, I mean, and again, going back to the JJ Watt, I honestly think there just wasn't the trade market value for JJ Watt was just not high enough for them to, like, really pursue anything. And so as an organization, they're like, JJ, like, you've done everything for us. Like, fuck it. Go ahead. We'll grant you this one wish. Because I don't think a 33-year-old linebacker or defensive end who's had multiple surgeries is going to get the same as a 25-year-old quarterback who led the league in passing.
No, I agree, but
package them, send them both to the Jets, and just take part of the franchise. Like, the Jets will give you a third of all revenue for the next 2 years if you just give us both. Like, I'm talking equity in the Jets for JJ and Deshaun.
Yo, that. Whew.
I think the only thing that could fuck up the Jets more, is taking some of the decision making out of fucking the Johnsons' hands and handing it over to McNair. I think it is, right? Who is it?
Oh yeah, the owner of the
Yeah.
Texans. Yeah. Well, we could get into that because there's been rumors that he's really racist, and that was a thing going back to DeAndre Hopkins.
Dude, remember, he
Yeah.
came out and said that, the inmates are running the asylum a couple years back.
Yeah. Yeah, he's that old Texan oil mogul money guy.
Mogul.
Yeah, so I wouldn't surprise me. I mean, and then you hear things like, You hear all those things, and then it's like, yeah, JJ Watt asks to be released, and it's like, yeah, the door's open wherever you want.
Have
Best
fun.
of luck. Deshaun wants out, and it's like, nah, get back to your
No, I
get
own
back
you.
to the bench.
Yeah, so crazy shit going on down in Houston.
Where's JJ gonna go?
I'm saying Steelers. He said he'd take a pay cut. I'd want to play with my brothers. Especially, like, they're very close brothers. It's not like they're just brothers. Like, they're, like, best friend style brothers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Seen that Subway commercial.
and could you just imagine the Watts on the end and then the Watt up the middle on offense? Come on.
What?
See, the marketing sells itself.
Yo, they'd be so damn electric with all the Watts going on.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm saying. The marketing writes itself. Are you kidding?
High wattage. Hang on. I had a Twitter poll where I put it out there from JJ, and let's see. The Packers won the poll with 41%. The Seahawks were up there. The Browns, the Steelers got the most write-in votes. I had the Titans on the list because I just feel like the Titans added him with how great their offense is and how terrible their defense is. I don't think he's gonna stay in that division.
I mean, maybe if you wanted to be like, yo, fuck
Nah,
you,
but
Houston.
He's also, like, he came out and said all the right things, but yeah, like Devin was about to say, like, he doesn't seem like he likes the organization per se.
Yeah,
Especially also with how they handled Deshaun too. Like when you come out you're called on TV on a hot mic being like, yo, I'm sorry, the organization wasted a year of your career.
Nah, I'm throwing a flag on that. There's a 110% chance. Oh my god, I thought that was full. 150% chance that JJ knew exactly where the camera was, knew exactly where the mic was, and that was all part of his PR, part of his marketing. I don't know if you remember when they were on Hard Knocks and he had that whole, like, after the practice he was continuing to work out, and it was that song, like, 10% concentrated power or will, like, JJ
Remember the name.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Fort Minor. Me and Dev, we know about all that. Let's go.
Ironically, I completely forgot the name. No, I feel like JJ 100% knew the cameras were there and is just trying to get him and Deshaun Watson both out of there. So he was like, yeah, like, we wasted this year. Like, we should have won 11 games for you, blah, blah, blah. So.
It's true, though.
But they had no one on offense. They was a
And
terribly
they had
coached
no
team.
coach, yeah, like. No, I get it. I'm just saying.
I totally understand why everybody would want to leave that organization.
But, like, you started the year, Will Fuller, Brandon Cooks, Deshaun Watson, JJ Watt. Like, you had pieces.
You had pieces, but Will Fuller ended up getting suspended for the last 6 games.
Well, yeah, but you didn't know that going in.
No, but Brandon Cooks isn't necessarily like, yes, I want him as the centerpiece of my offense, like maybe 4 years ago.
Yeah, but
David Johnson.
he hasn't been healthy in those 4 years, and he finally had a healthy year, and he put up decent numbers.
He put up good numbers, but David Johnson was also hurt most of the year.
Yeah, but he's old. I don't know why they made that trade to begin with.
Because Bill Bryan was stupid.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
you basically you basically just gave D-Hop for free. Like,
hypothetical, if Bill O'Brien was still in charge right now, Deshaun Watson would probably be on the Jets, and it would have cost literally nothing. Like, the Jets might have actually gotten a second player in return.
We're gonna re-sign Christian Hackenberg and send him to you.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
what's he
man.
doing nowadays?
We'll send you him and Davis Webb. All right.
Davis Webb.
Yo, but going back to Watt to the Steelers, I could see him maybe making a hard left and going to, like, the Browns because they have a younger quarterback who we all know is going to be there.
Whoa. You're forgetting the Steelers just signed their quarterback of the future. Ohio State superstar.
Dwayne Haskins. Let's go.
Well, I mean, yeah. If he's not out partying in strip clubs with no mask on, then you got your quarterback of the future.
Come on, man. You got to celebrate that big loss. All right.
We should do a JJ Watt pool. The three of us, we all just pick a team, and if any of us gets it right, like, the other two have to buy the jersey. Like, if you take the Steelers, I'll buy you a Steeler JJ Watt jersey.
I got the Steelers.
I'm going with the Packers. the Watts are from Green Bay, or from Wisconsin. All of Wisconsin is dedicated to Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers just seems like the kind of dude that JJ would be best friends with. They probably listen to Fort Minor all the time. Like, they would just hang out. I don't know.
Nah, bro.
If we doing that, I'll take the Browns.
Blood is thicker than water, my guys. All right, blood is thicker than water.
If JJ also just throws a dark horse in there and picks none of those teams, nothing happens. We just void it.
We all have to buy that team's jersey.
We all have to get that jersey.
Just for ourselves.
If he's like, fuck it, I'm signing with the Raiders. We're all getting Raider JJ Watt jerseys.
Yo, JJ, please come to the Giants.
Dude, that wouldn't be bad. The Giants had a really good defense. I mean, I think they need more help on the offensive side right now. But if he,
did they re-sign Leonard Williams?
Not yet.
But they're planning like.
I don't think they can yet because of the NFL's weird schedule.
But like prevailing thought is he's gonna re-sign, right?
Yeah.
Could you imagine JJ Watt and Leonard Williams how he's been playing since we fucking just handed him over to you guys?
Leonard Williams, Dexter Lawrence, the middle of the line, JJ on the end. You have Bradbury. That's a good defense.
Yeah.
The Giants would then just need offense.
I always forget about Bradbury just because it was his first year.
If he goes to the Giants, I will gladly get you a Giants JJ Watt.
Oh yeah,
jersey.
100%.
I would cry tears of joy.
Pretty cool.
Just hope it's not like a Favre situation where he comes in, plays for like half a season, and it's just like nah.
Well, yeah, half a season and sends dick pics to reporters.
True.
Nah, JJ don't do that. JJ's a classy man.
We're throwing a flag on that too because Brett Favre, of all people, was criticizing Deshaun Watson for wanting out.
Yeah. Self-awareness, my guy.
And it's like, Brett Favre, you retired once to get out. You retired twice to get out. You retired 3 times because you just didn't want to play for the Packers anymore. Goes to the Jets. Didn't want to play for the Jets anymore. Retires, goes to the Vikings. Dude, what do you mean? You're the guy. You're the king of like, I don't like my situation. Let me just retire to get out of it. Is that what Deshaun should do?
I'm pretty sure Favre just lives in a fantasy world right now. Him and his Wrangler jeans and his copper fit on his farm down in Mississippi, like
throwing footballs over lakes into fucking like tire swings.
Wasn't that a boner pill commercial?
Something like that.
Probably was.
It was. Symbolism.
Yeah.
But
I think the irony was that like that came out before he was sending dick pics to female reporters.
Okay.
And I'm not saying it hurt their brand, but it might have helped.
Okay, so I mean, even with it, it was what the story.
For those of you listening, he's making small hand gestures. We don't shame. We don't judge.
Hey man, do you?
Well,
but,
actually,
okay.
no. Pause. Don't do you if you're sending dick pics. Don't listen.
True.
But yeah, don't no, that not allowed.
Okay, but I'm gonna talk to my camera real quick. Football players, sports players,
Dramatic zoom in.
pretty much anyone in the world, just anyone. If you are going to be a terrible person and send an unsolicited dick pic, maybe don't send it to the person whose job is to tell people when someone sends someone an unsolicited dick pic.
Preach.
It is literally their entire fucking job.
True. That's true. That's true.
Like,
It's literally called a report. She reports.
she reports on how tiny your dick is, Brett Favre.
Her job is to inform the masses, well, of your lack of mass.
I was not ready.
Dev with the dad jokes. Killing it.
Oh my god.
Yo, full dad mode right now.
I just needed to get that off my chest real quick because that's been bothering me for years. It's just like, fucking why? Just make better decisions.
Well, if JJ does go to the Packers, then Brett Favre is probably going to come out of retirement, say, "Hey, I want to be a backup ring chase. I want a backup role."
I'm
Actually,
He's not going to sell for a backup role.
I'm actually shocked that Brett Favre isn't playing in this fan-controlled league right now.
We could talk about that because Johnny Manziel
Went off.
No, he didn't. He went 1 for 5.
Oh no.
Oh, that's off.
Sorry, I saw a couple little separate videos. I might have been confusing them.
They also play.
I didn't watch the whole game.
They also play on a field that's 50. It's 50 yards, the whole field. So it's 25-yard at midfield. What the fuck's the point of that? Any professional athlete could very easily punt it from one end to the other, and it's not like it's
no kicking.
Okay, they could throw it from one end to the other. It's not like the indoor league where they had the nets and the ball still in play. Like, I don't get the point of that. I don't think anybody gets the point of that. I don't know if anybody actually watched it.
It's like
I did
7
not.
on. Like, I might honestly watch it next week because from the clips I've seen, someone went off. I thought it was Johnny Manziel from the way they like portrayed it in the promo clip, but I guess it wasn't.
It was just a good marketing scheme to make Johnny Manziel seem relevant again because everybody loves him. But like, nah, just hang him up. Johnny Manziel just needs to retire. Just give it up, dude. Football was your thing. You had a great college season.
He is Johnny Football, all right?
Yeah, no, now he's gonna become like Johnny Play-by-Play or something else.
No, let's be real. Johnny Accountant.
Yeah, okay. You trust him with your money?
Oh, I don't invest with Johnny Manziel.
Yeah, no. Well, yeah.
Who would you trust with your money more? Johnny Manziel or Ryan Leaf?
Put it all in Dogecoin.
Yeah, right? Sorry, I literally just watched a documentary on Ryan Leaf, like about like why.
What's that? Is that a 30 for 30?
No, it's like, remember that shameless plug here for another creator I like. I keep telling you guys about this Flemlo Raps guy. He makes awesome football content, and he just did a whole breakdown on Johnny Manziel, not Johnny Manziel, Ryan Leaf as like the biggest bust in draft history. He's like the guy synonymous with quarterback bust.
Yes.
And it was like it's a good breakdown into like his mental state and kind of why he
All right.
reacted the way he did.
We should make this part of our book club for not books, where we all watch this documentary and just discuss it.
Yeah, and
So if you're listening,
it's not super long. It's like 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, if
20
you're
Oh,
listening-
that's nothing.
If you're listening to this at home, watch it, listen to it, come back, give us a call, a text, phone number right here, Internet Magic, or right here, I don't know. You know the phone number, send us a call, send us a text, send us a video. Make sure it's not your junk. We made that very clear.
Yeah.
But just
We will report on
We
it.
could all watch that. We will share it to social media.
We would literally, it'll pop up right here. Hopefully no one sends us a dick pic before this is edited, and it won't just be on my hand.
All right. We started with JJ Watt being a free agent and ended up with dick pics.
Yeah, who would have saw that coming?
Great conversation today, boys. Great conversation today.
That's what happens in the post-football world. Gotta get creative.
All right, so now our degenerate gambler, Eric Mincer, would like to give give an update.
A big update to a big story. Hand up, I would like to apologize and admit where I was wrong. Apparently, the Super Bowl streaker was a true story. He did take out this bet. He did place the $50,000 bet. However, loose lips sink ships.
Bro.
If you're going to do something like this where you place a bet that you can manipulate, you don't brag about it to everyone you fucking know. It went viral at Barstool, like ESPN, Bleach Report, Yahoo Sports, every place is reporting on this guy. So of course the sports book that he placed the bet with said, "No, we're not paying you. You manipulated the market."
Come on, my guy.
Come on.
To quote Biggie Smalls, "Bad boys, we move in silence. Don't tell everyone your fucking plan."
Real G's move in silence like lasagna. Lil Wayne.
Yes.
That's
What?
why
How does that even make sense?
the G in lasagna is silent.
That one went right over my head. Right over my head.
Fun fact, last time we talked about 6ix9ine, I was 6ix9ine for Halloween. Now we're talking about Lil Wayne. I was Lil Wayne 2 times for Halloween.
He was. I can contest to that.
Proud of
If
you.
you're watching this video, just give us like a comment or two about it, and I will gladly post pictures of myself as these. But I need to know that you, the listeners, you, the viewers, want it. So you let us know, and I will gladly post pictures of myself as Lil Wayne.
It's fucking Treyway, my guy. Sorry, you said 6ix9ine too. So I
Yeah,
had
no
to say it.
comment.
I literally.
Anyways, so he's not getting paid his $374,000 payout on the $50,000 bet. I don't even know if they're going to refund him the $50,000 because I'm pretty sure, like, when you place a bet, it's in violation to then tamper with the bet.
Yeah.
Same as Pete Rose not being allowed in the Hall of Fame. People forget, Pete Rose is also not allowed to bet at most sports books because of what he did.
Dude, that one bothers me most at all of them. Over, like, the PED users, over whatever. It's just like, fucking Pete Rose bet on himself. Fucking get over it.
Yeah, no, allegedly, like, he wasn't. He was just betting on, like, everything available, and it reached the point where, like, he wasn't paying attention to the game he was managing because he had, like, radios listening to other games.
But like, I get that. That's all well and good, but, like, it wasn't, like, Black Sox. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He wasn't betting against himself and then
wasn't
throwing the game.
The point shaving of the college basketball.
Right. It was, he's a degenerate gambler, but it didn't affect, like, he wasn't throwing games. He wasn't doing anything like that. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Didn't he
This
also
guy-
have like an unwritten rule that he just never bet on the games he managed? It was all the other games going on.
Yeah, apparently a deep dive, like, I don't know, I didn't watch a full documentary, I watched, like, a clip on it. Apparently he started that way, and then he got himself into a hole and was like, look, I know we're going to win tonight. And like you said, he never bet against the Reds, but if it was like, if he looked at the starting matchup and he was like, we're going to win this game, he would bet on the Reds. So apparently he did, and I get that, and MLB's just taking a stand against it, but for MLB to now be like, in these deals with DraftKings and like
Yeah.
sports gambling slowly becoming legal in more and more states, this guy, what he did was perfectly legal. Betting on the Super Bowl was legal where he did it, but what he didn't do that was legal was interfere with the bet and run on the field.
Right.
And he didn't get naked, so you're not full on streaker, so he's a pussy.
No, I completely get him there. I'm not getting on the sex offender list because I wanted to streak at the Super Bowl. Like, I'm good.
Fair.
Like,
I think it would have been more impressive if he actually went streaking during the parade. Like, if he went skinny dipping in the water.
Just jumped from
You
from
can't
the
win.
you can't win $314,000 doing that, though.
He didn't win it anyways.
Well, that's because he's a fucking moron and just shut the fuck up for 10 minutes, my
Yeah,
guy.
Moral of the story is, like, loose lip sync shit.
Moral of the story is shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up.
moral of the story. If you're gonna do something illegal, shut the fuck up.
Real G's move in silence like lasagna.
The more you know.
And that's Breaking the Law with Eric Mincer.
Breaking the law. Breaking the law. All right. Moving forward.
So,
Jump into a little basketball, probably, right?
yeah, let's
Let's talk about some of the big news in the league this week. Can the Nets figure this out?
the big news is that the San Antonio Spurs have 4 positive tests.
Well, I was gonna get to that later. I was just getting to the basketball, but if we want to go into that, we can do
I
that.
think that's the big news is they have 4 positive tests, so they're missing 2 weeks, postponed the next 2 weeks. They played on Sunday against the Hornets, which means the Hornets are now going to have to quarantine, and they're going to have games canceled, which is just unfortunate because LaMelo Ball has been unbelievable. It's been so much fun to watch.
Never lost.
If you get the chance to watch on, I don't know if you can do this regularly, but Charlotte's Hornets have been on NBA TV because they just like cut to games. Their broadcast booth is electric. They get so excited. They love everything LaMelo does because LaMelo plays with some flair, right?
Yeah.
They're Showtime Hornets. This is Magic Johnson in the flesh. This is LaMelo Ball. He hits another 3. Like, they go off. It's entertaining, and they're not going to get to play for another couple days.
No, he has that like Dame swag.
COVID's
Like-
still a thing.
Like
so.
I'm not saying they play alike, but just that confidence in himself. Just like, I'm gonna dime this from like 90 feet out, and it's gonna go in and fuck everyone.
It's not even that. It's like the transition on the pass, like fake going forward, go behind the back, the alley oops, just like knowing the extra pass to make. Kid's living up to the hype.
No, I agree.
And I was gonna say the best thing is that like he's just not. It's not like he's just a pure scorer. Like you said, Eric, he's dishing it out, dropping dimes left and right. You know, finding the open teammate, not afraid to get fancy and show off what he's got.
He's a good rebounder for his size.
And he's really an awesome facilitator. He really is. Like, some of the passes I'm seeing him make, just no look behind the back, through the legs, fucking front flip, ballerina twirl,
Yeah.
and then dish it off.
all
Like,
of it, all of that. And
Yeah.
it wasn't even a travel.
Yo,
It's crazy how quiet LeVar's been.
Because I think Michael Jordan is just like, hey, we're going to get this one-on-one game early in training camp, beat the fuck out of him. He's like, yeah, now sit down and shut the fuck up, all right?
Yeah, did Mike actually get it right though, as an owner? Drafting LaMelo, yeah, LaMelo, and signing Gordon Hayward.
Yeah, I think Gordon Hayward was a pretty decent pickup for that
He
team.
actually just got hurt, but he has been playing well. It depends because I think that the problem is that LaMelo is 19 and Hayward is 30.
Right.
Their primes aren't going to match up, but if Hayward can help mentor him and shape him into the star that he looks like he's going to be, then absolutely.
Well, I don't.
But Michael Jordan also, don't forget, is paying $20 million a year for Cody Zeller, who's been playing well just out of sheer, like, he's their center. Like, he needs to play, so he's putting up numbers. But
Gordon Hayward, I don't feel like, ever since that leg injury, like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't count on him, like, I know he's had some, like, he's put up big numbers in big spots, and I'm not saying he's, like, spent, you know what I mean? But, like, I don't view him the same way after that injury.
fair.
So I think he was brought in more in that just like veteran leadership role, who plays well, like, you know what I mean?
He's also getting paid like $36 million. So for
True.
that price, he's going to be a big piece of your team.
No, I agree,
I think actually. Sorry, I'll let you finish.
but I just don't think he was brought in to be the Steph Curry of the team or the like. I agree that he's the money guy, but I think he's there just as more as like, in my opinion, as like just the veteran leadership, and sometimes you got to dish out money for that. And I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying he's spent. I'm just saying I don't view him as the crazy threat he was in Utah, and then moving on to the Celtics originally before he got injured.
Right.
I was gonna say though, like after his injury with the Celtics, I feel like he was like the star, but then they discovered they had Tatum and Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart, and then like everyone kind of surpassed him as like
Right.
the first, second, third option, and like he kind of didn't know what to do, was dealing with the injury. I feel like going to Hornets, where he is kind of the star, is like working out great for him. It's like that's what he needs. He needs to be the focal point of an offense.
For him, it absolutely made sense to leave the Celtics because just like you said, they went out and they got Kemba. They have Marcus Smart. Jaylen Brown's having an absolutely incredible season. He's going to be an all-star. Jason Tatum, everybody knows, is a star, and he's like 23, 24. I think they're 24 and 25, him and Brown, so they're set for a while there. It made sense for Hayward. It's just unfortunate now that the Hornets are going to have to miss 2 weeks because of COVID.
Yeah.
It's still a thing. So that's probably like the biggest news right now.
Yeah.
But you brought up the Nets. Right now, Kevin Durant is injured with, I think, a hamstring. He's going to miss 2 weeks. Harden and Kyrie have been playing excellently together. Harden had a huge triple-double last night.
On offense, though.
Yeah,
They're still losing games they shouldn't lose because they have no one to play defense when KD's not on the court.
Well, it's funny because they lose to the bad teams, but they beat the good teams.
yes.
Right.
But they also did just sign Amon Shumpert.
But isn't he out too with a hamstring injury?
Well, Amon Shumpert and Andre Roberson, two guys who are literally just defensive guards. That's their whole thing. They just signed them, and they said they expect them to join the team in like the coming weeks or months because they need to get in game shape. That'll give them a little bit of help on defense. But yeah, they don't really play much defense. Last night against the Kings, I believe the final score was 146 to 135.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane.
And don't get me wrong, they're one of the
136, 125.
They are probably the deadliest scoring team in the league.
Yeah.
It's just like there is literally no defense. Like I forget who was saying it, but they're just like Kyrie wants to like say this, that, and the third. Like, guy, you are the guy that everyone wants to be matched up on a team of terrible defense. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he plays absolutely none. James Harden is good for rebounds and he's good for steals. But, like, he's not the, like, in-your-face, like, grind-you-out type defensive player. KD's, like, the thing. When KD's on the court, they can play some. Because, like, KD can take their best guy. You know what I mean? And he can play defense. But
They have DJ under the hoop who can play defense, but he's older. He doesn't have the minutes in him. So the problem becomes when they made the trade for Harden, they got rid of Jarrett Allen, so they don't have a second big man who can consistently play defense. Speaking of Jarrett Allen, the Cleveland Cavaliers came out and said Jarrett Allen's going to be the center for the future. We're going to make him our franchise center. Andre Drummond is on his way out. He's being benched. They're just not going to play him for the next couple weeks until they find a trade for him.
I mean, yeah, saving the value. But that brings us into the bigger conversation that our buddy, old pal Draymond Green went off at the media. I think you have the quote better than I would have it, so.
We could plug in the clip if you want to play it, but basically what Draymond's saying is when you see somebody like Harden ask for a trade, yeah, he kind of, dogged it to take Draymond's words. He forced his way out. When a player does that, the player is viewed as a bad guy. When Anthony Davis said to the Pelicans, like, hey, I'm not re-signing here, so trade me, he's looked at as a bad guy. When Kyrie Irving says, I need a time off for my mental health, he's the bad guy. But if a team comes out and says, oh, well, we want to trade him, so we're going to pull him from the game, like, that's fine. Like, if the team says, oh, Blake Griffin now is on the trading block, Blake Griffin's just not going to play until we can trade him. And, it's like a car. You don't want the car to drive until you sell it. But It's like if the player then wants to go take their time off, or the player wants to be traded, the player's viewed as a bad guy. And I agree with Draymond because specifically with the Anthony Davis example, I don't think Anthony Davis could have gone about that in a more professional way. He said to them, look, my contract's up in 8 months. I'm not going to re-sign with New Orleans because, one, you've never built a team around me that's winning anything. Two, I'd rather go to, he said, New York, Boston, or LA. He wants to be in a big market.
Right.
He gave them 3 choices and said, look, find a trade, make it work. You have all this time. I want you to get something in return from this. And the league still fined him $100,000 for it.
Right.
I don't know how more professional he could be. Like, Jimmy Butler did the exact opposite. And
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler
just fucking took the third string, I think it was, and just fucking beat the shit out of all the starters, being like, yeah, fuck y'all, every single one of you. I think you said this last week,
Yeah,
but...
He was literally yelling to the Timberwolves owner, like, you need me more than I need you. And he forced his trade to the Sixers, yeah.
But I feel like the media, like everyone just looks like whenever they see a player saying like, I want to be traded, I don't want to play for this city, everyone's like, oh, they're just being selfish. This is bullshit. Like, look at them. You should be happy where you are because you're getting paid to play a game that, we all play as kids. And then when the teams come out with that statement, they're like, oh yeah, that's just a business decision. That's actually smart. Like, it makes sense. And it's a huge double standard.
But yeah, that was the point that Draymond was making, essentially.
But see, that's the thing, and I make this point all the time. Guaranteed contracts are the thing because that's why they can do this in the NBA and not in other sports. It's because no matter what, you're paying them.
Mm-hmm.
So if they sit out, guess what? It's $50 million down the drain for the year, my guy. Like, so when they start pulling this stuff, the team has no option. It's either just fucking throw away $50 million or make something happen.
Well, with Kyrie, it was different because Kyrie didn't, Kyrie wasn't getting paid for the games he missed. But I understand your point.
Well, I also think that's a just entirely different situation altogether than some of these other people because he just didn't tell anyone. It was just like, hey, I'm out.
Well, Kyrie was also just doing it to make him untradeable so that he could stay with the Nets and they get Harden. And it worked out. And Kyrie came out and said James Harden's going to be the point guard, which means Kyrie's going to be the shooting guard, which is why Kyrie dropped 40 points last night. Like,
yeah,
it's working out there. But I agree with Draymond that it's completely ridiculous that if Andre Drummond came out and said, like, I don't want to be a Cleveland Cavalier, this franchise sucks, this team sucks, like, trade me, everybody, like you said, that everybody would say, like, oh, he's an asshole, you're just playing a game that everybody played as kids, you're getting paid money for it. But for Cleveland to say, well, he's not in our plans going forward, he's just going to take up a space on our bench for $50 million, like, that's fine.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. Definitely always player positive on this show. Always player positive, but
I always will support an employee over the employer.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just a huge double standard, and I know Draymond has a tendency to go off on random things, and sometimes, like, you might be like, all right, overreacting a little bit, bud, but this one I think he's spot on.
I wholeheartedly agree with Draymond.
Same.
Question now becomes, do the Knicks, or actually, who goes for Andre Drummond? He's got a huge contract, incredible defensive, incredible rebounder when he tries. He's not great at best, not the purest offensive player, but he's an all-star.
I think, in the grand scheme of things, the Knicks have probably 3 options to attack right now: Drummond, Bradley Beal, and maybe Blake Griffin. I don't know what they're going there. Out of all of those, I'd probably put Drummond number 3 on my list of people I'd want to go after.
Agreed.
Yeah. I mean, you look at the centers that the Knicks have. Mitchell Robinson, granted, he's out 4 to 6 weeks with a fractured hand. But when he was playing, it was Block Party Central. Everyone was having a good time.
Right.
And he was putting up points and rebounds. Then you got Nerlens Noel, who looks like he's relishing in a backup spot, when he could just come in, give you a couple good minutes and get a couple blocks. I think he's averaging
he's carrying the block party.
Yeah. He's the leader of the block party right now.
But I think he's one of those guys that will be great off the bench. Maybe not as a starter, but off the
Nerlens?
bench, yeah. But Nerlens Noel.
Yeah.
I think he's one of those guys that his role is to come in off the bench. You
He's
know
a-
what I mean? Like even if say I'm not saying he's that level, but say he made All-Star, keep him on the bench. You know what I mean?
Sixth
He's-
man.
Yeah, he's that guy.
He's also another one of those Kentucky products that, if he didn't play for Kentucky in this period where Kentucky kept churning out really good big men, we probably had paid more attention to him because he was a top pick, a top prospect. It was just he was, I don't know if it was the same year, but it was the same time period where it was Willie Cauley-Stein, DeMarcus Cousins, Anthony Davis, constantly Kentucky putting out big men. Even Julius Randle's from Kentucky.
Right.
There was a time, the Knicks lineup last night it was Julius Randle from Kentucky, Nerlens Noel from Kentucky, Quickly from Kentucky, Derrick Rose, who played for Memphis but was coached by Coach Cal, and then RJ Barrett. So it was
Yeah.
just you all these guys are blue chip, top talent. So I mean, it's there. I think they need to score. I want Bradley Beal.
I want Bradley Beal.
I would like Bradley Beal.
I would take Blake Griffin, but I want Bradley Beal.
Fun fact, Blake Griffin's last dunk in an NBA game was December 2019.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if I actually want Blake Griffin. I think
I
that
would take him over Drummond.
if it's between them two, I would take Griffin, but his injury history just worries me too much.
Oh no, I agree.
Remember when he was playing against the Bucks in the first round of the playoffs and his entire leg was hermetically sealed and wrapped in ice and everything?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess at some point all of those crazy dunks take a little bit of a toll on your body.
And working for Donald Sterling probably just is not great for anything. So,
Side note, have you ever seen Blake Griffin stand up?
No.
like stand-up comedy?
Yeah.
I've never seen it. No.
Genuinely hilarious.
Really, I need to check this out.
Blake Griffin is an actually funny human being.
I wonder if he has writers or if he does it himself.
He's the Blake of the Year. Reigning Blake of the Year.
But yeah, just let's be completely % honest. We want the guy who's fucking leading the league in scoring.
We want Bradley Beal. The Wizards have nothing going for them. They have so much money tied into Westbrook because they took on that stupid contract. John Wall, actually, the Rockets and the Wizards just played. John Wall has returned to DC. He had 29 points, 11 assists. The Rockets looked good. The Wizards do not look good. Bradley Beal is just wasting away. Makes a trade. If you're the Knicks, give up the pick you got for Porzingis. I would say clear anybody on the bench. Anybody on the bench can go.
But we're talking even if we gave up our first round pick and the Chris Stops pick, they're still looking at RJ Barrett, Ntilikina, and
RJ's off the table.
well, that's what they're talking. They're talking Julius Randle. They're talking
No.
Julius Randle had 44 points last night. Julius Randle belongs in the All-Star game. Hashtag NBA All-Star
But-
Julius Randle.
but Bradley Beal's leading the league.
In scoring. Yeah.
So
But isn't Randall a 3 or 4?
Randle's a 4 who can play 5 because he's thick.
Okay. So in theory, you're looking at a lineup that's going to be Barrett at the 1, Beal at the 2. Who you got as the 3?
I would say RJ at 3 and let
Quickly?
Quickly or Alfred Payton start.
I think Quickly's should stay on the bench for now.
I agree. He's not polished enough yet.
Yeah.
And then you would let Randall be the 4, and I guess Noel for now be the 5, and then Robinson comes back.
But I don't think you get Beal and keep Randall and keep Barrett. I think you have to give up one if you're getting Beal.
Yeah, probably. But I don't know. Maybe they throw in quickly. Like, I hate to say it because the kid's been so good, but you
I don't think that's enough.
but it would be quickly the 2 picks, and I mean, not that anybody would want Knox or Austin Rivers, but like they have to be.
Hey,
available
Austin Rivers has had some games
against the Utah Jazz.
I
I was
understand.
gonna say, so yeah, you start him against the Utah Jazz, you're golden. You're gonna win that
But-
game.
Okay, the Utah Jazz are fucking winning like 11 out of 13.
More than that.
Yeah, like
the Jazz are like 22-5.
yeah, like
So then you do maybe the 2 first-round picks, Ntilikina, and maybe another first-round pick in the future.
And
And
Knox.
Just
get
get
Knox
off
my
my
team.
team.
I
don't
don't think
think
you're. I don't think you're
getting out of this trade with Barrett or Randall
if
if you get Beal.
I just don't think it's gonna happen.
I just don't want Beal to go to a team that's already good.
Because
Because every team's like loading up on stars,
and
and
there's
there's
some like
strange way
he's gonna end up on like the Sixers or like the Lakers couldn't, but I don't know.
You
You
never
never
know.
I mean,
Like,
LeBron
LeBron can pull
some
some
moves.
moves.
Yeah.
LeBron's like, what if instead of paying anybody on the salary cap, I give them a role in Space Jam and just pay them their salary through Space Jam? Bradley Beal.
They'll
to the
just,
Nets.
they'll just have a 6-second cameo in the movie and get paid like $37 million for it.
This is gonna be his cameo. Hey, what's up, Bill? What's up, LeBron? All right, that's it.
37 million.
He got paid $12 million per word.
Damn.
But yeah, I know it'd be hard to pull off that trade. Like if the Knicks could do it without giving up Barrett or Randall, fuck it, let's do it.
If they can do that, I'm saying deep playoff run this year.
I think right now the Knicks are the 6th seed,
Right.
which is incredible.
That's what I'm saying. If they can
They're-
pull off that trade and keep RJ Barrett and keep Julius Randle, deep playoff run this
They're
year.
1 game under 500. They've won 5 out of the last 7. The only 2 losses were the 2 heartbreakers to Miami that were both games the Knicks very much
Should have won.
Exactly. So if the Knicks can play and hang with the Heat, Eastern Conference champs, who I think were in over their head last year, but a
True.
very good team. Like this Knicks team, I don't know if they're gonna beat the Sixers in a playoff series. I don't think they can beat the Celtics, the Nets, and definitely not the Bucks. But hey, when was the last time we made the playoffs? 8 years ago.
No, but I'm saying if they get Beal and can keep those 2, I can see them at least making the Eastern Conference Finals. Not maybe
No
not
shot.
beating the. If they get Beal, I could see it happening. I'm not calling it. I'm not Joe Namath calling the shot. But I'm saying
They
like,
do play good defense, and I mean that makes a huge difference.
and Beal's going off, scoring fucking 50 points every other game.
Okay, but part of that, and not to take away from Bradley Beal because he is a great scorer, great shot, great player. Part of that is because somebody has to, right? Like
I agree.
If Westbrook's not playing, Westbrook's playing only one of the 2 games on the back-to-back, so he's missed like 6 games this year just from rest. The rest of that starting lineup is like Davis Bertan, Robin Lopez, and a bunch of like unknown rookies. So somebody's got to score the points.
But he's pulling it out, is what I'm saying. He's doing what he needs to do to get it. And with
100%.
the way the Knicks are playing defense right now,
They
it could be a match made in heaven.
the missing piece is a scorer. And
Yeah.
I completely agree.
Like I'm saying, everyone's gonna like come at me being like, "Oh, Chris is saying they're making the Eastern Conference Finals this year." No, that's with Bradley Beal, and I'm saying it's possible.
There's a chance.
Yeah. Do I think they'll probably it'll probably be a 5-game series in the Eastern Conference Finals? Sure. And we'll lose it? Yeah. But
That gonna lead us to the bringing back our predictions. So who do you still think it's gonna be the Lakers? Like who do you think's gonna win the East? Who you like?
I
base-
think
Let's do what is it? Quarter season recap.
it all depends on I think with the Lakers it all depends on how Anthony Davis comes back, cuz hamstrings turn into Achilles very quick.
Okay. I don't know. Is that a scientific?
Yeah.
That's what happened to KD, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think
But it happens to a
Maybe-
lot of people.
Like it's just
The way the body works.
yeah, like when that's all together when like you're getting the swelling and the inflammation and it's just causing more problems and your hamstring's connected right to your Achilles.
The hamstring's connected to the Achilles.
Yeah.
Achilles connected to the hamstring.
So, depending on where this is, like, he could have micro tears. He could have all these different things. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, he's out at least 2 weeks, right?
yeah, but we need to figure out the results of this MRI first that he's going in for. He's probably already had it at this point. I just don't think they've released anything on it yet.
Yeah, but the Lakers also have the luxury of, like, if he wants to sit out for a month to, like, fully heal, this still got LeBron James.
No, I agree, but
LeBron James.
But if he comes back and he can't move or re-injures into something more serious, I think that completely changes the landscape in the West.
Of course, but like you can't predict that because that could happen
Right.
to any team. Like if Joel Embiid lands funny on his ankle and is out for the rest of the year, then like the Sixers go from best team in the East till middle of the pack.
No, I agree, but this is already something that we're seeing problems with already. So it's not necessarily problems, like we don't really know yet, but from the more and more I keep hearing about it, the possibility of this being a bigger deal is rearing its ugly head.
For
more
anybody
and
who
more.
plays daily fantasy, if you do DraftKings or FanDuel, you will notice that every single game this season, LeBron and Anthony Davis have came up as questionable. So I think part of that is that the Lakers always want to have the ability to say, like, one of these nights we're going to rest them, just for the sake of it. LeBron hasn't missed a game this year, has been on the injury report every single night for an ankle injury.
It's like the Tom Brady effect back when he was with the Patriots, where they just listed him as questionable every game.
Exactly. I don't know if it's a mind game like Belichick was doing. I don't know if LeBron is just, like, actually has something wrong with his ankle and is just playing through it. But with Anthony Davis, I think that, like, if they say 2 weeks to 4 weeks for recovery, 4 weeks to 6 weeks to be super safe, they have the luxury of saying we can take 6 weeks and be like LeBron, be LeBron from 3-4 years ago and just like take it up a notch, and and they still have Dennis Schroeder, Montrezl Harrell. Kuzma got priced up a lot in DraftKings because he's filling in for Anthony Davis, and I don't think he's that good, but yeah, like Kuzma can step up.
I like Kuzma a lot. I think he steps up in big spots.
He has the tattoo of the 100 emoji, so I think he's an idiot. But other than that, like,
I actually, as far as stupid tattoos go, I don't hate that one.
That's gonna be something we talk about next show. I'm gonna compile a list of the worst sports tattoos. That's my assignment for myself.
Yeah.
You know who's number one?
Signing yourself some homework.
You know who's number one? Eric Hinkie or Hinsky.
Who?
Yeah.
I have no idea who that is.
This is bad radio, but I'm gonna Google it. You guys carry on without me.
All right, so yeah, but so I think Anthony Davis, like how he handles this injury, just because it's getting focused on a lot more than I would have expected it to, and it just, I don't know, from the things I've been hearing, it could all just be media bullshit, but at the same time, from what I've been hearing, this has the potential to really become more if not handled correctly. So, like you said, they have the luxury to handle it correctly, but it's just whether or not they can. You know what I mean? So I think that changes everything in the West.
And like you were saying though, like Achilles injuries like are no joke. You see tons of people like go down to them and like either can't play like they used to play before the injury, or just out for an extended period of time.
Right.
Like look at like DeMarcus Cousins.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be the one.
Look at Clay.
Yeah. Well, we don't know with Clay yet.
Well, yeah, but that's what sidelined Clay for a year was the Achilles.
Right. But what
another injury, and KD had an Achilles. Yeah, Achilles.
But KD is like the unicorn who was able to seemingly come back from it. He's obviously
he's hurt now with the hamstring injury though, so it could all be related, like you're saying. Two very big hamstrings to keep an eye on is AD and KD.
Double D's.
Devin, who do you like out west? Your cousin over there in Utah going nuts?
I mean, yo, that whole team is going nuts. I think Clarkson, like, he put up like
40 last night.
40 points. I think a lot of people kept putting up 40 points last night.
Last night, I think 7 teams scored over 120 points.
Absurd.
Wait, was it you who told me your dad told your little brother a story that Donovan Mitchell is actually your cousin?
No, but they are. Devin Mitchell, Donovan Mitchell?
No, I'm pretty sure you told me that story.
No, so, all right, side note. I was hanging out with Eric and his dad during the All-Star game. And this is when he won the slam dunk contest. And the next day was my brother's birthday party, and my dad's like, and my dad goes, "Yo, do you see our cousin? You know, he won the Sam dunk contest." And I thought, yeah, I did. You know, I thought he was just joking. And he's like, "No, that's really our cousin." I'm like, "When you say cousin, you mean like cousin, or like cousin?" And he was like, "That's our cousin." I go, "No, but which cousin? Like real? Like blood? Like first off, if he's blood, why am I just finding out about this now? Like I could have been a fan of the Louisville Cardinals way back when he was playing and everything.
Why am I not courtside?
Dev, how did
Right.
it not occur to you that there's a star player with the same last name that grew up in like the same area code, like down maybe 20 minutes away from us?
Oh yeah, he did, didn't he?
He's from Elmsford, like
He's from Elmsford, went to school, I think in Connecticut, like prep school or whatnot.
Prep school.
But yeah, like our paths like just missed each other, and I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, it could change everything.
Side note, I just want to put it out there right now, Yankees fans, I am not related to Sonny Gray. Don't come at me with that bullshit.
Yo, Chris, talk to your cousin.
Nah.
Is there any mincers out there?
no, closest we got. The Braves have a reliever. Or I don't even know if he's on the Braves anymore, but there was a relief pitcher with the last name Minter.
Minter.
But closest I got.
Minteresting.
I like that. Wait, you never answered. Are the Jazz going to win the West?
Oh, sorry. I got totally derailed. You know what? I think if AD comes back, the Lakers are going to win the West again. Like, it's just so much to get past both LeBron and AD.
And they got better from last year. Like, ugh.
I don't know what wine LeBron's drinking, but yo, keep drinking that wine.
Think about this, though. Last night, the Clippers, without Paul George, without Kawhi Leonard, beat the Heat. What, the Heat were full strength except for Dragic. You're missing your two all-world players, and like Lou Williams and this guy Terrence Mann off the bench went nuts. Ibaka's having a resurgent season. Do we think the Clippers can make noise? I mean, I think the Clippers are going to walk to the Western Conference Finals.
I don't know. Like, they've been falling off at the wrong times. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when Kawhi was with the Raptors and they went on their run, everyone seemed to be clicking. Fred Van Fleet all of a sudden became an all-star that year. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
And he's been leading the team ever since. I haven't really seen that connectivity with the Clippers the same way I did in Toronto with Kawhi. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm not 100% sold on that team. And Paul George comes out and looks great in regular games, and then fucking
Playoff P.
Yeah.
Pandemic P.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I felt like with Toronto, everyone bought into, like, hey, we're doing this. We're getting a ring. Like, we're team first. And the Clippers, it's like, hey, I'm Kawhi. I'm going to take this game off. I'll take this game off. I'll be back. You know, we'll run it back or whatnot. And Paul George, he just disappears in the playoffs.
Well, this was COVID protocol, the two of them, I think.
But with Kawhi, to be fair to him, he's never been that guy of that's always been his thing. The knock on him is he's not a leader. He's just not that guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's just the best player on the court.
But it worked for him when he was with San Antonio because you have Popovich, and Popovich can be that guy. Popovich has full control of the team and is an excellent leader. Nick Nurse, like, I give the guy credit. I thought, you take over this team that was really good. You add Kawhi Leonard, sure, you win a championship your first year. What does that prove? But Kawhi left, and they've been really good ever since. So I give Nick Nurse a lot of credit. I think the Raptors were like this team that was built. They had Lowry there. They had all of these pieces there. Fred Van Fleet, all the guys coming off the bench, OG Anunoby and Powell. They had this team built, everything put in place. Kawhi was the missing piece. And now I think with the Clippers, the exact opposite, where they just gutted their team. They got rid of, they had the whole Chris Paul era, the Blake Griffin era, all of that. They got rid of everybody. They put together this brand new squad, threw it all together in 1 year, and said, hey, Doc Rivers, take us to the championship. Didn't work, so they cut Doc Rivers. Now you don't have Montrezl Harrell. You have a new coach. You throw in Ibaka. Like, it's just too many players just coming and going, just too many revolving doors to, like, really build a close bond. And like you said, like, he's not the leader. He's not the guy that's going to bring everybody in and say, like, we have to get on the same page. LeBron can shuffle players around like crazy. Rondo, out. Schroeder, in. Bring in Marc Gasol, and just put everybody on the same page because he's LeBron. That's what he does.
But even at a high school, he came in and, like, just showed you that, like, leadership potential at the very least. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even from a very young age with the Cavs team. And I think another reason that it works out so well in Toronto is because once DeMar DeRozan left, Fred VanVleet was just like, all right, this is my team. Like, it's Kawhi's team in the fact that he's the best player, but I'm the guy who runs the show. You know what I mean?
And Siakam became this guy that they just found in about late second round and turned him into a star. And I think that's part of why the Heat were able to play so well down the stretch last year was they had a lot of guys that they just drafted Bam Adebayo, and he wasn't like, I remember him in Louisville with your cousin. Like, he was a good player, but he wasn't like, people weren't expecting him to be like the next superstar that he is. And Jimmy Butler's the kind of guy who comes in and he's like no nonsense and he's a leader and he gets everyone on the same page. And Eric Spoelstra, also a great coach.
But I also am not 100%. I'm still not 100% sold on this Miami team because, like we said at the beginning of the season, we don't know if this Tyler Hero explosion was like the bubble thing. Yeah, he's been playing decently well, but they're not playing. They're not playing like they were in the bubble.
No.
Like, they've been coming out pretty weak at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, well,
coming off a finals appearance.
Yeah, J-Butt missed the first month because he was just getting back into shape. I think that made a difference. But right now, yeah, they're outside looking in the playoff picture in the East, which isn't saying much when the Knicks are the 6th seed. So
yeah,
he might have some problems. They could be making moves at the deadline whenever that is.
That whole thing literally could have just been Jimmy Butler willing them to try to get to his first finals. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
absolutely, I agree because the whole thing with the bubble was a lot of teams were taking it as summer camp, and Jimmy Butler has never been to summer camp in his life.
Oh yeah,
Jimmy Butler was like actively choosing to go to military academies during the summer. Like, I made that up, but like Jimmy Butler is a no nonsense. Like, just he's in the bubble. He's here to work.
Yeah,
dude, he was up at like 4 a.m. like dribbling in his room, and like you had other players be like, "What the fuck is that sound?"
Oh, I'd hate to be his downstairs neighbor.
Jimmy, shut the fuck up.
And it's just Jimmy, working on his handles at 4 a.m. Be like, all right, gym opens up in an hour. Do this for an hour.
All right, fellas. Devin, it is time to do that hockey.
Yo, let's do that hockey. Well, we about that couple weeks in, and we got some exciting stories shaping up. I mean, seems like no one's beating COVID right now. You had the Dallas Stars start their season later than everyone because they had at least 17 people test positive or have some form of COVID violations and stuff. So they started late.
So what you're saying is COVID's on a power play right now.
Oh yeah. And they're also they also took out the New Jersey Devils for about a week or two.
See?
They're playing their first game tonight, and they haven't played a game since I think January 31st.
So does that mean they're gonna be like rusty, bet against them? They're gonna be well rested, bet on them.
Oh, see, here's the interesting thing. They're playing the Rangers. Rangers this season been playing great defense. Offense struggling a little bit. Now you would think, hey, a couple teams get some time off. They're not at the facility. They might be relaxing a little bit, so they might be a little sluggish. But they also might come out hot because they're like, yo, we're itching to play. We haven't played in 2 weeks. If you're making a bet, I mean, I'm a little biased, but I don't think I could bet against my boys. And I'll go with the Rangers on this one.
Sounds like you said an under also.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mickey needs to find the net, my guy.
I mean, right now, Mika's looking at like 1 point in the last 9 games, coming off of last season when he was like a 40-plus goal scorer.
Yeah.
It's just not cutting it.
See, I know a little hockey. I played a little hockey back in the day. My butterfly's sick, my guy, all right?
He plays a little shell.
Oh, I played shell. I can fuck you up and chill. I know nothing about hockey.
Nah, but it's
telling FIFA.
I know nothing about the actual sports, but I'll fuck you up.
I can play some chill.
But it's a weird season though. Like COVID, like every week is another team is violating COVID protocols. Like about 2 weeks ago, the Capitals got busted for hanging out in each other's hotel rooms, so they lost like 4 players to COVID. Last week, the Flyers got had a little COVID scares. So you never know. COVID's basically winning the league right now.
I don't understand why all the leagues that last year we were just like, yo, great job, fellas. You're doing it right. Like, all the NHL players were like, no, we're going to sit duct taped to chairs for this whole bubble and not get anyone with COVID. Fucking NBA players were just like, we're going to get locked in Disney World, which is sick anyway, but still.
That's the thing. When you have the bubble, it works really well. When you can isolate and stay inside and limit large gatherings and stuff, like when you do all the things that you're supposed to do to mitigate the spread of COVID-19, it worked out. When you have these players flying around the country, flying around Canada, flying around wherever, staying at different hotels, doing all these different things week to week, yeah, there's going to be some issues. Luckily, no one's been getting really sick from it. That's the most important part.
Like, you know Lou Williams has gotten the lemon pepper wings at least 3 times this season. I know we always bring that up, but it's just fun to say lemon pepper wings.
The Clippers haven't even played in Atlanta yet.
You think that's going to stop Lou Williams?
He's got a deal worked out.
All right, so Dev, I asked you this before the season, but who's the team to cheer for in the East and team to cheer for in the West? Or are we just going all in on the Rangers?
Nah, don't go all in on the
definitely
Rangers.
Don't go all in on the Rangers.
I don't know. Are they good or are they rebuild? Clue me in.
They're
It's
in a
funny.
weird spot.
Yeah, so they were in a rebuild, and then it looked like the rebuild was over and everything was bright and hey, sunny days are ahead of us. And now they're kind of taking a step back a little bit. So
we got that kid that I can't say his fucking name. They just got like 97 sick European players through the draft in the last couple of years, and I can say none of their names.
That's a J and a K and an L and a F and a
Y'all got me able to say Lundqvist for years, all right? So, like, fucking, let's chill out a little bit.
I think the dude that you're thinking of is either Capo Caco, who we got with a 2nd overall pick last year, or you're thinking of Alexei Lafreniere, who was the number one pick this year.
That's what I was thinking of.
So but the Capo.
The Rangers had 2 years in a row top 2 picks.
Yeah, the lottery system may be broken.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like I said, this was the year we were supposed to start getting out of the rebuild.
But does that mean, like, are we throwing on some tinfoil goalie masks here and thinking some conspiracy? Like,
hey, Patrick Ewing, have fun at the Knicks.
NHL's not doing so hot. Let's see if we could turn the Rangers around.
I don't know if they can freeze an envelope in hockey because it's already way cold. But
I think they would need to like defrost it or something like that. But
right.
No, but
yeah.
I was gonna say like what happened was that once the bubble hit, they were like, okay, so these teams, like the NBA lottery, percentage points of ping pong balls or whatnot, and then these teams that like got knocked out first, they got it. There's a percentage, that they can get. But somehow the NHL, instead of just being like, all right, the first 8 teams that got knocked out, you're guaranteed 1 through 8. They did it, and they were guaranteed 2 through 9. So that coveted number 1 spot was still available. And then one of them ping pong balls fell in favor of the Rangers. And then, surprise, Rangers ended up with the number 1 pick despite making the playoffs.
Yeah,
that doesn't sound the most fair and natural way of doing things. But hey, I'm not here to call out conspiracies in a sport that I don't know that much about. So I'm gonna let it rock. And okay.
That's a lie. You call it conspiracies that aren't there.
Yeah, 110%. I got some great conspiracies up my sleeve.
All day, every day. But to answer your question, you still got to go with Tampa in the East. Like, that team is just stacked from top to bottom.
Champa Bay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tom Brady comes to Tampa. Everyone starts winning down there. So I wouldn't be surprised if they repeat as Stanley Cup champs.
Really?
Avocado tequila for everybody.
Defending champs. Wow. Tampa Bay is really going nuts.
Yeah,
All right. And that's hockey talk.
that's a little hockey talk for y'all.
We did that hockey.
Let's do it. We did it.
All right. So, only other really big sports news I can think of right now is the fights over the weekend. Kamaru
Talking
Usman.
about Pac-Man Jones.
We'll get to that one.
Oh, you mean sanctioned fights?
Yeah,
Okay.
let's talk about sanctioned fightings before we talk about,
Bar fights.
Yeah. So, yeah, Kamaru Usman, like I said, once again, 3-1 in one of my picks. Once again, one of my fights dropped right after I fucking uploaded my picks for the second card in a row, so that sucks. But hey, 3-1 on the ones that went through. Macy Barber, I love you. I'm still a big fan of yours, but you fucked up my parlay, and I'm upset about it. But yeah, just top to bottom. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go last fight first because I want to make a point about the first fight. So, last fight, Kamaru Usman, I think breaks now GSP's record of most consecutive wins in the welterweight division. You got to start talking about him as one of the welterweight goats. Would love to see the fight against him and GSP, but GSP just straight up said, like, look, I'm not trying to give up 3 months of my life right now for something that's not really going to motivate me. And he even said, like, I don't know if there's anything that's going to motivate me at this point. Like, I'm getting older.
How old is he? He's got to be close to 40, right?
I think he's like 37, 38, somewhere around there. But he takes care of himself. He's always training. He's invented his own brand of water exercise equipment, like weights to use in water, so it's less strenuous on your joints.
Oh, like water resistance?
Yeah, so they're not actually weights, but they're in weight shape, but they're just giant paddles that catch the water to increase the resistance.
We'll do that right after we do TB12.
Oh yeah. But hey, GSP is always in fantastic shape. So
Yeah.
there's something.
When was GSP's last fight?
He actually won the middleweight title from Michael Bisping, and I want to say December 2017. I want to say.
All right, so it's been a minute since he
Right.
fought.
And before that, he hadn't fought in like 5-6 years. He just wanted to become a double champ.
Champ.
Well, not champ because champ means you have them both at the same time. He had already been a welterweight champ for years back in the day. And then now he just kind of was able to pick off Michael Bisping as a low-hanging fruit. Not to say that Bisping's bad, but he was getting older himself. Like, he had one eye at the time. Like, if he was gonna have the chance to come back and win another title in another division, it was the prime opportunity to strike, and that's what he did.
Pun intended.
Yeah. But yeah, so Gilbert Burns stung him real bad in the first, had a real good opportunity to finish it there, but Kamaru even said it himself, like, his fight IQ is next level to some of these guys, and just was able to weather the storm, gassed him out by him trying to finish the fight. Burns got a little overzealous and just kind of not completely gassed him out, but emptied the tank more than he should have and started to fade a little bit. And Usman's jab was just so clean, crisp, fired from the hip. He knocked him down with a jab. Like, that's incredible. He was working off his jab so well and was able to find the finish. And it was just a very it was a fight that hurt to watch. Because after the finish, Burns, who's been in the UFC for 6 years, first time sniffing a title shot, first time getting the respect he actually deserves, just broke down. He worked so hard for years and years to get this. And these two were each other's main training partners for years. Like, these guys are friends. And you just saw Kamaru, like, the emotion take over Kamaru because he just took his friend's dream from him. It's his dream, too, and he didn't want to give that up. And I'm not saying he's a bad guy for it. Like, you won the fight, but
You got to do what you got to do.
Right.
You get into that octagon, someone's got to win.
But you just watched.
No,
Like,
be a draw.
he was just sitting there and watched his, like, his friend lose his dream directly because of him. Something that they had both been working towards together for years and years and years. And you saw it took an emotional turn on him. Like, I know leading up to the fight, he said, like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to look at Gilbert the same after this because he called me out, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, you're both working for the same thing. And I think he understood that. And it was just a very emotional thing.
Side note, he's got to be the most dangerous man ever named Gilbert.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Well, wait. What about Gilbert Arenas? He was bringing guns to the locker room.
Okay.
It's fair.
Fair. Okay, there's some deadly Gilberts out there.
Moving back on the card, co-main event, Alexa Grasso takes it over Macy Barber. The one fight I picked wrong. God damn, Alexa Grasso's boxing looked very, very crisp. She really started to look like she might start living up to the potential that she was billed at when she came in. When she came in, everyone was looking at her like the next big thing. I think she was still a little like young in the sport, kind of just traded wins and losses for a while. But she looked absolutely fantastic against a very motivated Macy Barber, because she was talking her shit through the whole thing, like, I'm going to be the youngest champion in the UFC. I have this many days to do it, blah, 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 blah. Had the setback, tore her ACL against Roxanne Modafferi, and now kind of had to come in and, like, prove her worth now. Like, prove that all the shit she was talking was what it was, you know what I mean? And Alexa Grasso still just beat her up. It was bad. Like Macy had some moments, and like I'm not saying she got like manhandled, but man, Alexa you know what I mean. But yeah, man, Alexa Grasso just looked absolutely fantastic. I'm very excited for her next fight now, because it definitely looked like she's starting to live up to her potential a little more. Moving back, KG got the win. Kelvin Gastelum, and just I knew that was coming. Kelvin Gastelum's a monster. He's had a couple setbacks against the best guys in the world. Israel Adesanya. I feel like he lost another fight after that. I can't remember. So we'll just move on from that. Kelleher versus why can't I think of his name? Ricky Simone was a great fight. I'm really happy they moved that one up on the card. I was super happy with that. But the real fight I want to get to is the Julian Marquez fight, because my guy, you dropped the ball. And that brings us to Chris's dumbass of the week. Hey, you helped me get another win on my picks. Super happy about that. Grateful for it. You win the fight after a 2.5 year layoff, almost 3 years. And you shot your shot. You did your thing. You called out Miley Cyrus to be your Valentine and got a response. And got not even just a response. Like, fucking Henry Cejudo called out the Bella Twins and got a response, and that was all well and good, but that was all a joke. Miley was like, nah, shave MC into your chest hair, and we are out here, my guy. And then you tried to go back on Miley Cyrus and make demands out of her. This is Miley fucking Cyrus. You're lucky she even mentioned your name, and you're gonna go and fuck it up that quick, my guy? Fucking get the Clippers out literally in the middle of your post-fight interview. Fucking the second you see that on Twitter, start carving, my guy. Don't ask her to fucking do a henna tattoo on her chest. It's Miley Cyrus. You dumb as hell.
But is that what Miley's into? Is that her thing? She's like, I want to see my initials in a guy's chest hair. Like that.
I don't know, but you don't give it an ultimatum to Miley Cyrus when she's offering it up.
You know what he should have done? He should have got HM for Hannah Montana.
I think that's even worse.
Yeah, she would have eviscerated him. It's a big word.
My guy.
Come on.
No bueno. That's not a good look, dog.
You remember that terrible rapper Stitches? He is so upset right now.
Defines terrible.
Stitches was terrible, my guy.
I put that brick in your face. Now what you gonna do with it?
Fucking
pay up.
He wants to fuck Miley Cyrus. That's all I know.
I know. Miley Cyrus, instant classic. Have you ever heard the song "Kilos in My Bag"? I'm going through the airport with kilos in my bag. Fuck the police.
I watched the whole documentary on him too lately. Actually,
did not know there was such a thing, but I'm going to get on that.
It's another like YouTube documentary. It's by this guy Trapelo Ross. If you like hip hop, and hip hop history, he's a great guy to follow.
Down. Mr. Richard Long and I had a very long, profound fandom for Stitches. Definitely check that out.
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely not a Stitches fan. He's also a fucking garbage human being when
Absolutely
you go
person.
into this fucking documentary. But yeah, so just Julian Marquez, you're a dumbass, and you're Chris's dumbass of the week. Fucking get those Clippers out ASAP, my guy, ASAP.
Fellas listening to this, I want your opinions. Write us, text us, tweet us, Instagram message us. Would you shave an MC into your chest hair for Miley Cyrus?
And if your answer is not immediately yes, just fucking go away. You're not my fan. All right? I don't need dumb people.
Let's talk about what's the limit? Like, what if Miley Cyrus was like, I need you to get MC actually tattooed on your chest?
No, that's a completely different story. It's your chest hair, my guy. It's going to grow back in like a week.
Allegedly. Okay, yeah, nah, I get it.
Completely different scenario. Fucking get them Clippers out right away.
Okay.
Sorry. Miley Cyrus was like my fucking 15-year-old crush back in the day. If I had even the slightest opportunity, fucking I'm carving it right now.
Devin and I went to the Hannah Montana movie the night it came out. Probably.
Why?
Didn't we go with Claude and the Gabriello clan?
Nah, dude, I think that was Katy Perry.
Okay.
You're making it worse, bud.
Yeah, what the fuck are you guys talking about? It's not even just oh yeah, we went with our girls because they wanted to see it. Just nah, we decided to go with the Katy Perry movie with some random dudes.
Nah, there's at least one female in the group.
Yeah. This was the summer you worked at the movie theater, right?
Yeah, so I just saw everything for free. But I don't remember the Katy Perry movie. I remember seeing the Hannah Montana movie and thinking she's just gonna tell this whole town in Tennessee her secret and just assume that out of this 2,000 people, no one's gonna snitch. Come on, Miley. Loops, lips, sink, ships. Word of the day.
Was it a party in the USA, guys?
Yeah, Tennessee.
Yeah, that was good.
She got in touch with her country roots and apparently wants guys to shave her initials.
Hey man, again, I don't give a fuck.
All right, yeah. Whatever she's into, you're into. Cool.
All right, more fighting news from the week.
The
this
big
one,
fight.
yeah, this one unsanctioned.
This is what everyone has been talking about.
Fucking Pac-Man Jones back in the news for another bar fight.
So some fights happened in Vegas in front of a live, TV crew on Saturday nights. Some fights happen at 1 a.m. on a Sunday night in Cincinnati. Guy just got in a bar fight.
This situation does feel different to me than some of the other situations with him. He went on the Pat McAfee show basically 8 hours after getting released from jail. Very, very soon after, and explained the whole situation. Apparently, the bouncers came and picked a fight with him because another time when they were out, he got kicked out from a different bar, and it was a whole thing. Not the bouncer. The bouncer at the club that he got into a fight with apparently was at another bar they were at and got kicked out. Something to do with Pac-Man.
And just brought up the grudge and was like, hey, I remember you, fuck you.
Right, so apparently Pac-Man was at the DJ booth trying to get some songs played, and the guy came up behind him while it was all going on. His little brother intercepted him and was like, yo, we're not doing this. And all of a sudden, Pac-Man turns around and his little brother and this guy are on the floor already.
And bar stools start flying. I really want to know what songs he wanted to hear.
Oh, he said he was talking some
Stitches?
He was talking some Young Thug.
Stitches.
Okay.
He was talking some
Stitches?
I don't know. I forget the other. He said two more people, but I remember he said Young Thug. Oh yeah, he said Young Thug, Da Baby, Lil Baby, and then some Valentine's Day mood music to try to get the night to end well with his lady.
I think we just got to put a bulletin of ABP, a bolo out there. If you work at any kind of bar or strip club in the greater Cincinnati region, just don't let Pac-Man in.
See, but that was the thing. He wasn't drunk. He wasn't.
Yo, he was defending his brother though.
Yeah, he wasn't, and he literally wasn't drunk because they caught him pulling out of the bar, and he was driving. If he was driving, he would have gotten a DUI. He didn't get a drunken disorderly. He didn't get a intoxicated in public. He was not drunk.
Okay.
Just don't step to Pac-Man Jones like that.
But the way the interview sounded, and like I like Pac-Man Jones, like blah 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 blah. But if you're being dumb, you're being dumb. It honestly sounds like he was out there just having a good time, wasn't trying to start no trouble. But if someone's gonna start trouble, he's still fucking Aaron Pac-Man Jones.
He might not start it, but if he has to, he'll finish it.
And he was explaining that's the same thing that happened at the airport. This guy came up to him yelling about him because at sports, people get crazy. He had his headphones in, turns around, this guy's in his face, and then, nah, he wasn't in his face no more.
Just knocked him out. I mean, that's kind of like Trevor Bauer was recently tweeting about how, like, Dodger fans keep harassing him and, like, he can't, like, go out and do stuff because people are harassing him for autographs.
Right.
It's like, first of all, it's a pandemic. Like, stay out of each other's faces. Second of all, look, if you want a picture with the guy, I get it. But any grown man over the age of, like, 16 should not be asking for an autograph. To me, it's just weird. Like, if you have a football and you want a signed football, I get that.
Yeah.
If you have a baseball, like, you want a memorabilia signed, but if you're just like, here's a piece of paper and a pen, can you write your name for me?
Yeah. I get it. I 100% get
It's weird.
that.
It's a weird thing.
I mean, I guess it depends on the person. Like,
Nah, I'd rather have memorabilia or, like, a picture or something. To me,
no, yeah, definitely want a picture. But if I'm there and fucking Michael Jordan's there and all I have is a napkin, I'd get it. You know what I mean?
Michael Jordan's going to charge you like
sign what I'm wearing.
$50K.
Deadass, I was at some convention. I forget what it was. Some big convention thing at the Javits Center in the city, wearing a USC shirt. Saw Clay fucking Matthews. I asked him to sign the shirt. I have a signed USC shirt by Clay Matthews because I'd rather have a signed USC shirt.
But did he play at USC?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I was like, it'd be outrageous. It would be really awkward if he was like.
But that's what I'm saying. You just lucked out that you were in a great situation for that to work out. If you were wearing a fucking Louisville shirt, you're not going to go up and ask him to sign it.
I would never wear a Louisville shirt.
But you know what I mean.
know. I guess, but like at that point, I'd be like, I don't know, sign my shoes. Something. Like
I get it. I
don't know. To me, just like having a piece of paper with someone's name on it, like I'd lose that in a minute.
I'd like if it was MJ, I'd frame it. But like I'm saying, if it's like one of these next level guys, but like
I guess I don't know.
I was going to say, I like recently like saw the story that Chameleonaire ran into Michael Jordan at an event.
Dude.
Yeah. And apparently he was a big Chicago Bulls fan, even though growing up in Houston. And he's like, yo, Mike, I'm a huge fan. Can't get your autograph. And he looks at him. And Michael Jordan's like, you got $50K?
No way.
Yeah. And he was just like, what? Are you serious? And he's like, yeah, $50K. I'll give you my autograph. And he's like, seriously? Like, but dude, like, come on, man. Like, can't just sign like something for me. And it's like, nope, $50K. If not, see you later.
Damn, MJ's all about the business.
hey man, when you're riding dirty and rolling with the gangsters, sometimes you get rolled dirty back on, all right?
That was the anthem of MySpace.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, just on that one song, because that was back before streams, before like pirating really took off.
That was MySpace. Dude.
Well, not only that, but like he invests like in all these businesses, and he's got like a net worth of like I think like 40 mil.
Shit.
Yeah. Yeah. But MJ's like $1 billion, so it's chill.
You know, only the most popular shoe brand in the world. Like.
Yeah, who would wear those?
Don't forget, he's also a NASCAR team owner now.
I'm wearing my slippers, but I got my Jordans over there.
Yeah.
I'm lazy today. But yeah, it just the whole Pac-Man situation, it just seemed different, and this situation doesn't worry me like the last one. Like, sometimes you just gotta handle your business. I don't think you should be getting into bar fights, especially at that age. I'm always very much just I love fighting, and I'm very much just diffuse the situation, walk away. It's not worth going to jail over it, but at the same time,
just like
you're not out there picking the fight. You
But,
know what I
like,
mean?
and when he's doing it at like a strip club in Vegas, like at least that's like a dope story, and it sounds like you were really doing something cool. If you're just like, yeah, it was Sunday night and we were at a strip club in Cincinnati. I don't know, man. It doesn't have the same ring to it. It doesn't
Yeah.
slap the same. Like,
I get you.
go home at that point. I don't. Everybody's different.
He was trying to go home, just
Well-
in like another hour or so.
Well, like I said,
Sounds familiar.
he the first time he realized the guy was even there, the fight had already started. You know what I mean? So, not much you can do there. Anyway, that's all I got for this week, boys. How about you?
Well, I'm gonna start my list of best and worst sports tattoos.
Dev, you got anything?
We'll give a shout out to my little brother. It's his birthday today.
Yo,
Oh.
shout out to the little brother, my guy.
Happy birthday, Max Xavier.
That's right. Happy birthday, bro. Even though he can't listen to this, but he knows.
You tell him, all of us in here in the basement.
I'll clip just that so he can see it. Because he don't need to hear the rest of this episode. This episode.
Oh, okay,
Rails
no.
today.
A little
No.
different. We threw some curveballs out from back of our repertoire.
I'm going to trade him all the Pokemons into his Switch.
I gotta see if he's even still playing Let's Go Pikachu.
Why wouldn't he be, dude? It's the
'Cause
best game.
The kid plays all the other games like Mario Odyssey and
That's also a
Minecraft,
great game.
and he's got a little collection of games.
Word.
Good. Good for him.
If you're a gamer, Mario Odyssey is actually a fire game. I actually really enjoyed it.
I played. I was like, oh damn, this good game.
All right, but so that's it for me. I am Chris Gray. We got Eric Mincer over here. We got Devin Mitchell up here, and I'll see you.
Deuces.
Stay positive and test negative.
Welcome to the basement.